at 14s along with Columella. The Scuttler 18s, 22-1 Super Simon. Secret Destination 28s. Hatafina 28s. And Claude Greenwood, the outsider, at 100-1.
African Oil then in second best in the market, currently a 9-2 chance. Now, I mentioned the possible pace angles in this race. Now, African Oil, sorry, he's only had a handful of starts so far, has made the running. You would expect him to be up there to make the most of stall one under Michael Hills.
Yeah, you would think so. He led when he won his maiden at Lingfield 2 starts ago. He made all on the rail, which might well have been an advantage to an extent that day, but he pulled clear with Karamak. The time figure was pretty good. He then came out and ran and raced prominently close up in a really strong nursery, I thought, at Newbury. I was working there that day. It looked like a strong race beforehand. I'm sure that it's going to prove strong form. The winner was always close up, and African Oil was always close up, but most of the horses that raced close up didn't see the races out as well as those two, and it was probably a race that did favour some of those that were held up were seen to maybe better effect than they would have been. The race was run to suit them, and I thought that the African Oil did really well to last as long as he did and finish where he finished. The step up in trip, I think, is a positive for him. The softer ground is an unknown quantity, and it was that stopped me getting involved with him, because I thought that I think he was about 11-2, 6-1, maybe even a bit bigger than that. He was the one that looked overpriced to me, but just the fact that he was unproven on the ground and there wasn't real signs in his pedigree that he was going to be suited by it, put me off getting involved with him.
He did have that caveat over his participation with regard to the ground as well. The handicapper's probably got a fair idea of where he is now with Dan's Choice, for example, but he has looked progressive, and is it possible just to rate up his latest performance very slightly, because he did have to switch late on?
Yeah, and that was quite a strong race. Hoarding, the winner, ran well on his next start, didn't he? The fourth has come out and won. As you say, he did just have to switch a little bit. This is softer ground than he's gone on before, and he's already had chances off this mark. So, like you say, that the handicapper seems to know where he is with him. He is consistent. If he goes on the ground, he'll have a chance. And in terms of a stamina test, he's by Khalif, but the dam was a stayer. She stayed 2.25 miles, so there's definite stamina in his pedigree. So he's one of those that, again, he'll run his race. He might just be vulnerable to something open to a little bit more improvement.
We talked about a few of those to the four in the market. Among some of the others at double figure prices, you got the likes of Your Art Is On Fire, for example. Now, the ground shouldn't hold any terrors for him. He's only had 4 starts. He might still have more to offer.
Yeah, I think Your Art Is On Fire and Super Simon. What price is Super Simon?
22-1.
Yeah, they're the two that look quite big prices to me. Your Art Is On Fire, first of all, as you say, is proven on testing ground. That was a solid enough third behind Back of the Queue last time out at Ayr. Back of the Queue had some really solid form lines going into that. Your Art Is On Fire just raced a little bit freely, but still ran on quite strongly, and given how often he has been strong at the end of his races and finding plenty for pressure, then you would say that the extra distance shouldn't be a problem for him, and as we've said already, he's proven on the ground, so I think he's quite a big price. And likewise Super Simon, who has got winning form on soft ground, just like Your Art Is On Fire, is often strong at the end of his races. He's had a few goes, and I'm not sure that he's well handicapped. He's only had one run in a handicap, hasn't he? And he was below form in that. He was very, very consistent in maidens up to that win at Brighton, where he won quite easily as an odds-on favourite. He's by Redback, and the softer ground won't be a problem for him. He's proven on good to soft already, and he's been gelded since his last start, so he might well improve.
That's the chances then of Super Simon. That is Your Art Is On Fire in shot. What I liked about him was I saw him win at Haydock when he, back midsummer, what we laughingly called summer this year. It was only a small field race, but he found a bit of trouble in running, and he had to come round most of them, but in the end he was comfortably on top at the line, and he struck me then as a horse to keep a close eye on in subsequent starts. Don't think he's badly drawn either in stall 7 here. The draw can make a difference over 7 furlongs at Warwick. you can be berthed out high, and it's not a help.
Get caught wide, and you struggle for cover as well as going that little bit further than everything else. I think you have to work to get your position as well, don't you? So it can be a problem for them. Was there anything that you liked at the bigger prices? Because I think we've covered the ones that I was sort of interested in.
He's a little bit bigger than I thought he was going to be, so at 16 to 1 I thought I'd take a chance with Your Art Is On Fire. I agree with you in the sense that St. Jerome is very much the one to beat, with the stable going well, and he has been well found now. Caveat about the ground for African Oil, which now is 7 to 2. That I thought that was plenty short enough, so I would row in for what it's worth with Your Art Is On Fire.
I'm going to say, perched on this fence that we stood next to, I think St. Jerome is the worthy favourite, most likely winner, and the two big priced ones, if I was looking for one that I was interested in, were, like you, Your Art Is On Fire, and also Super Simon, but probably more Your Art Is On Fire.
Just one to go for the nursery. Let's rejoin John.
Claude Greenwood, that one, and we're set to go now. Ready? And they're off and racing. The trip here is 7 furlongs. And as they head through the early stages of the contest, Secret Destination, African Oil away well towards the near side running rail. Salutation well up with the pace together with Your Art Is On Fire. Columella now taking a much closer order as well towards the wide outside and now improving through the field as well. Super Simon is the one getting the hurry up riding behind the leaders, with another Claret and Martial Art for company as well slightly further back. Dan's Choice also sits towards the rear end of the field. St. Jerome probably second last at the moment in company with Claude Greenwood, as they now turn out of the back straight with another one, Hatafina, nicely off the pace at the moment as they now rattle round towards the home straight. Secret Destination is a little bit further back now, and it's now that African Oil's come through on the inside to lead from Colmanella in second place, and then Salutation in third. Your Art Is On Fire comes next, and then still in touch is Martial Art as they head then for the closing stages. Secret Destination trying to land a blow. Dan's Choice comes next. Further back and a long way back is St. Jerome, really struggling to land any sort of blow here as they come down towards the final furlong. We've got African Oil leading, Salutation, Martial Art and Columella right up the near side running rail as well, and that's the leader, Columella, as they head to the last half furlong. Columella, Your Art Is On Fire running on strongly from the back, but Columella is home, and it's tight for second place there, involving Dan's Choice, Your Art Is On Fire, Martial Art also very much involved. Claude Greenwood was slightly further back.
First, number 14, Colin.
We're 2 races in at Warwick, and first-time cheek pieces have become the order of the day. We have 2 big price winners, 33 to 1 price winner of the Cellar some 30 minutes or so ago, and now at 20 to 1, Columella in the first-time face warmers has scored under Adam Beschitzer for William Haggers. It is officially a photograph for second, and that would appear to involve Dan's Choice, Your Art Is On Fire, who's the white-faced colt, Martial Art with the noseband, and here it comes for second.
Second at number 11.
And Dan's Choice is second, and Your Art Is On Fire is third, and Martial Art for the record is fourth. Columella from stall 12. We were just saying how difficult it was from a wide berth to win at Warwick, and drawn a 12 of a 13 eventually. Columella bounced out under Adam Beschitzer, raced handily, and brings a surprise.
Yeah, always prominent, wasn't it, she, Columella? First time cheap pieces have helped her. I think as much as anything, Stuart, the return to softer ground has helped her, because she made a winning debut on soft ground, and I don't think she's been back on it since. So 2 starts now on soft ground, she's won them both. That's clearly helped, as well as the application of cheek pieces. Whether or not getting the stand side rail was an advantage or not, I'm not sure. It
won't have been a disadvantage.
No, it won't have been a disadvantage. You've got some horses that have raced towards the centre of the track that might have been disadvantaged, the likes of St. Jerome, but not to the extent where they would have got involved. I mean, that horse was beaten a long way out and never managed to get involved here. The winner always well placed once they get into the straight, and it has proved difficult to pick up a horse who's been ridden prominently once again. African Oil has just looked to get a little bit tired in the softer ground, I think, this afternoon.
Yes, I agree. You had 3 of the first 5 home racing up with the pace, and the others that have filled the frame not too far off it either. Martial Art thought his head carriage looked a little awkward in the closing stage. He's just hung to one side. Yeah,
I was looking closely at that on the first rerun, because sometimes you can get thrown by the way they carry in their head with the noseband and face markings. It looks as though they had, but I'm pretty sure that he did look to be just carrying his head a little bit awkwardly and holding back. It's quite high as well, isn't it? as you say, 3 of the first 5